Hello, this is D and I'm back with another video. Well, today I have some leaks regarding Halo Infinite as well as the Xbox Series X. Now, this is coming from ReviewTech USA, and like usual, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. Now, ReviewTech USA is reporting that an Xbox Game Studio employee has leaked them information on Halo Infinite as well as the Xbox Series X. So let's start off with Halo Infinite. Now, everybody is talking about Halo Infinite. The memes are all over the place, and it's really getting trashed by a lot of gamers. Now, to be quite honest with you, there was a lot of issues with the textures in the game, the lighting, the overall look of the game. It was kind of dull and flat. Now, reports after the show is that the game was running on a 6-month-old build. Now, this was coming from a source that quoted Alana Pierce as saying that it was a 6-month-old build. Now, I'm gonna have to correct that because that source has retracted that statement. However, this Xbox Game Studio employee has confirmed that the build is from March, so it is a 4-month-old build. Now, that's not really the shocker because Microsoft already came out and said that this was definitely a work in progress. The surprise is that it actually was running on a mid-spec PC that's used for tools and debugging. Now, this dev kit is called Condor, and before I get into all the dev kits that he actually named, I gotta say, I don't understand why Microsoft would show this game running on a mid-spec PC that's not even designed to showcase gameplay. First of all, you gotta show this game in its best light, show it with all of its feature, and show us what it's capable of doing on the Xbox Series X. By using this Condor dev kit and a 4-month-old build, they did this game a disservice, and I just have to be honest about that. Now, I know some guys, they're gonna get really upset and they're gonna leave comments in the section down below, and that's fine. Let me know why you feel different about it and we can have a discussion. But this is my opinion, and to be honest with you, a lot of gamers are sharing the sentiment right now as there are so many memes of Halo Infinite online, so we gotta be honest on the subject. Now, apparently Halo Infinite was supposed to be a complete open world game where you were able to fly from one end of the map to the other, but they changed over to a different engine, and with that came changes to the game's scope and size. Now, it still is an open world game, kind of, as you are able to explore large areas, but they will force your progression forward, and in actuality, I think that's the right move for Halo, as I just can't imagine that game being a fully open world game. Now, as I alluded to, they changed the engine of that game. Initially, it was running on Unreal Engine 4. Now, I kind of think that this is a mistake here, as the Slipstream engine really hasn't demonstrated anything truly next generation to me, and the Unreal Engine 4 is very, very good, as most games this generation were created on that engine, and honestly to tell you, I'm just a big fan of it. I think it looks better than what Slipstream is producing, and overall, I think this was a mistake from Microsoft. I don't think that they should have changed the engine. Now, them changing the engine of their game while in development, I do believe probably hurt the game, and that could be another reason why the visuals kind of looked a little bit flat, kind of looked like they could be on current generation. This Microsoft Game Studio employee also confirmed that this game was supposed to be initially on the Xbox One and the Xbox One X, and then they decided to make this a Series X launch title. Now, this also could explain the look of the game, why it doesn't truly look like it's a next generation game. Now, don't get me wrong, it did look pretty good at 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, it was nice and smooth. However, it didn't scream next generation, it didn't scream Xbox Series X, and I don't know why Microsoft would actually show this game running on a kit that doesn't even have the same power as the Series X. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. In fact, the trailer that they showed after the show was running on the Scarlet dev kit, and like I said in my previous video, that trailer looked better than what we saw at the show. Now, he did reveal a whole list of new dev kits that I didn't even know were in existence. The Durango kit we know exists, of course that's the Xbox One, Edmonton is the Xbox One S, Scorpio is the Xbox One X. However, there's a Chuckawalla dev kit, which is an unknown prototype of the Xbox One X. Now, this one really had me scratching my head, as Microsoft recently announced the end of life for the Xbox One X. They no longer will produce that console. So what is the reason for this Xbox One X prototype? I just don't see them replacing that console with anything other than the Scarlet device, which we all know is the Xbox Lockhart. Now, as I said, this Xbox Game Studio employee confirmed other dev kits. He confirmed the Scarlet dev kit as well as the Anaconda. Now, Scarlet, for the longest time, a lot of people are saying that Lockhart does doesn't exist. I even had some people message me that why was Lockhart not shown at the last event. Now Lockhart, from all the reports that I know, will be shown at Microsoft's August event, and at that time we'll get a price as well as the release date for both of Microsoft's next generation consoles. However, it's good to see that this once again has been confirmed, and this time by a Microsoft Game Studio employee. Now the mid-spec PC that they use for the show is called Condor, and they also have Dante, which is an experimental version of the Series X. Now I've heard about the Dante console before, but to be quite honest with you guys, I always believed that that console was an early version of the Series X. Now it turns out that this is an experimental version of the Xbox Series X. Now what is so experimental about this console? Does it have a better GPU? Does it have a better CPU? Is it more capable of ray tracing, or perhaps Microsoft is just overclocking this console? Now the latter would make more sense to me, as Microsoft did do this with the Xbox One launch. At the last minute, they did boost the clocks on that console right before it launched. So this could be another situation that Microsoft has in place just in case Sony has any last minute surprises. Now when I look at all the information, everything starts to make sense. Now this game was really scheduled to be on the Xbox One and the Xbox One X. That makes sense why the visuals aren't stunning. It was running on a 4-month-old build. That would also make sense why we didn't see the game in its best light. Now it was also missing ray tracing and a host of other features, and like I've said several times before, I don't know why Microsoft chose to show this game in the state. Now instead of gamers being excited about Halo Infinite, we're seeing a lot of memes. Now I am quite confident that closer to launch we will see a much better looking version of this game. If we do remember, there was a similar situation with Gears 5. The beta kind of looked rough, and at release the game looked significantly better than what we saw. So I do expect this game to look better closer to launch. Microsoft has confirmed that this is a work in progress. Nonetheless, it's no excuse for them showing the game in this state. I think it was a huge mistake showing it on a mid-spec PC that doesn't give us any representation of Xbox Series X. It was a huge mistake, and hopefully Microsoft can showcase this game once again, but in a much better light. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about this information. What are your thoughts on Microsoft showcasing Halo Infinite running on a mid-spec PC? I also want to know if you think it was a mistake that Microsoft did not use Unreal Engine 4 for Halo, and what are your thoughts on them using a 4-month-old build? Let me know in the comment section down below, and like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.